We experience the world with all five senses. Some are more developed than others, and we may be more tactile and react to the world with a touch. Some smell the world, and I know from experience different family members that I have perceive the world with one sense prioritized over the others. And so when I deal with a character and I create a little bit of the background, I think about how do they interact with the world. Are they going to do it with sight? Are they going to be an auditory or a listener with sound? Are they tactile and they want to touch things, or are they smell-based? In the Rye books, I have a character that gives off a scent as part of who he is, and that really doesn't get resolution until 2 or 3 books into the series. And it's not a big plot line, but the point is why is this scent there? But I think one of the most important that is left out is the sense of smell, because smell will trigger so many memories in our mind that we can have the smell of rose water, which our great aunt might have worn when we were a child, and it reminds us. Or do you not like the smell of roses because you went to a funeral at one time and it was overpopulated with rose displays? Some people don't like formaldehyde, patchouli, and I'm dealing all with the death ones because they're going to be known issues, but they're strong scents. The same thing could be said for cinnamon, it could be said for sandalwood, or the smell of dirt. I have a family member who loves the smell of fresh rain on an asphalt road. I don't like it at all, but she does, and it reminds her of her childhood running in the rain barefoot when she was young. So I try to write the story, and when I do it, I decide, am I going to write this section as narrative because something is happening, or am I going to write it as a long string of dialogue, and I will write dialogue line, dialogue line, dialogue line, and not worry about any of the narrative or the external voice going on, and then I'll go back and I'll add flavor. And flavor is not the best word to use because the sense of taste is a flavor, but it adds flavor to my writing, and so that's how I think about it. And I think about the character, well, what drives them as their sense? And I'll put that in, and I'll put that in, and I'll put that in. And it seems to add a depth to the stories that I like by the time I'm doing it, but it is a conscious effort to put these in. And when you deal with the sense of sight, the verb choice becomes important. You simply see, or the character sees something. They don't have to look, or they don't have to notice unless it's changing up their direction or something is inhibited from them seeing what the location is transpiring around them. And it's the same thing for hearing. Hearing is an automatic process of the surrounding going on around you. Are they going to now change what they're doing or thinking and pay attention to the sound from across the room or across the forest? So something happens when you start adding the senses in, and it also forces you to deal with your verb structures. And I kind of make them go hand in hand, and you don't want weak verbs, you don't want the passive verbs or the passive sentences. And senses and dealing with them lets me do a lot of editing on my work because it forces me to be very tight in sentence structure and especially verb usage.